Welcome back. This is Christmas Daddy. Merry Christmas to you and your families. I'm going to be doing something different and bringing you all a few holiday related videos in the coming month. In addition to being a roller coaster enthusiast, people who know me will also tell you that I also love Christmas. To start things off, I'm going to be talking about my favorite Christmas movies. This is all meant to be just for fun, so let me know what your favorite holiday movies are as well. These choices will change for sure. These are just 5 Christmas movies that I like to watch nearly every year that I have come to love, so don't take it too seriously. With that being said, let's get started.
Fragile. It must be Italian. It's a major award. Fragile.
Number 5. A Christmas Carol. Countless versions of this story have been put to film, but I am singling out the Disney iteration from 2009 specifically, starring Jim Carrey. This version just embraces the dark characteristics of this story and is animated beautifully. The movie obviously has a great source to draw from. As long as you stick to the source material with any version of A Christmas Carol, you're bound to have somewhat of a decent outcome. I could have put a few examples of this holiday classic here, but ultimately, I always go back to this as being my favorite rendition of the classic Charles Dickens tale. There's a reason this tale continues to be told over and over in many forms for over 170 years now. Pretty impressive. Disney did a wonderful job with the execution of this classic story and has stuck in my head ever since first seeing it in theaters 10 years ago, and also helped contribute to my love of this classic tale, and I have watched countless versions of this story in the years since. Number 4. The Santa Claus. This sentimental favorite starring Tim Allen came out in 1994. I've been watching this movie at Christmas for as long as I can remember. To me, this is a modern holiday classic and has gained much of a replay value over the last 25 years. The movie has so much classic nostalgia you find in many Christmas movies. It is fun, it sets itself apart enough from many of the humdrum holiday movies you see played over and over every year, and I don't really have a whole lot else to add to this. It is simply a really fun Christmas movie. I thought Santa Claus 2 was pretty decent, and personally I'm not a fan of Santa Claus 3 The Escape Clause, but neither can compete with the original in my eyes as far as funny, nostalgic holiday classics. Number 3. Here it is. This is the one you guys came here looking for. You probably knew this was going to be on here. Elf. This released in 2003 in theaters where I saw it originally and stars Will Ferrell as Buddy the Elf. Basically every year since then, as far as I can remember, I have watched this movie. This is one of those movies that I simply must watch every single year at Christmas time. Will Ferrell, whatever you think of his acting, does a tremendous job of portraying Buddy the Elf. He is Buddy the Elf. Fun fact you may not know, Elf features a cameo with Peter Billingsley, who played Ralphie in the 1984 smash of a Christmas movie, A Christmas Story. He portrays Ming Ming in Elf, the sort of head elf of the North Pole. Once you know he's playing the role, you can tell and it becomes obvious when you look, but until you connect the dots, you may not realize this, as I didn't realize this until a couple years ago myself. This is a great modern Christmas classic that you must watch every year. For me, this movie never gets old after watching it for what seems like 100 times. Number 2. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I realize that looking at this movie more objectively, it may not be the most thought-provoking or well-rounded movie, hence why this list is my personal favorites. It has a lot of goofy slapstick and fluff, I suppose, for lack of a better term, but the cast in this movie is perfect. Chevy Chase, of course, playing the wide-eyed, Christmas-obsessed patriarch of the family, Clark Griswold. Of course, you can't forget Uncle Eddie and his infamous one-liner. This has become a movie over the last 5 years or so that I like to come back to every single year to watch. It is always a blast. This movie came out in 1989 and has just become a movie that is synonymous with all of the craziness of the holiday season. And yes, I have been compared to Clark Griswold. I like to think I'm not quite as crazy as him though. Since I love so many Christmas movies, before we get to my number 1 spot, I just want to quickly list off a few honorable mentions. Krampus, which was released in 2015, A Christmas Story, Christmas with the Cranks, How the Grinch Stole Christmas in the 1966 TV special and 2000 live action formats, and A Christmas Carol from 1999 starring Patrick Stewart. Number 1. It's a Wonderful Life. This Frank Capra directed classic was actually a huge flop when it released. Around this time, Christmas movies weren't released in season typically as they are now. This movie released in January of 1947, and as I said, failed. Licenses weren't renewed due to that, and the movie fell into the public domain, resulting in many stations airing the movie continuously, which is how this movie began to gain popularity and catch on with people. Speaking to the movie itself, it is such a beautiful, inspirational piece that is beautifully tied together. It has a profound message that has carried over many decades and is optimistic, but also eye-opening in a way, and gets you thinking. There's a lot on the line for the main character George Bailey as he faces many struggles in his personal life and with his bank, being caught in the gears of daily life. This movie is one that I have seen a handful of times and have really come to appreciate the last couple years as a holiday classic that, in my mind, is undoubtedly at the top of the list for holiday movies in my opinion. Thank you all for watching. What are your favorite holiday movies? Be sure to let me know. Ideas of something specific you'd like me to cover? Let me know that as well. Like my page Coaster Daddy on Facebook and follow me at Coaster Daddy Official on Instagram. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Bye.